Hello, it's June 26, 2017, and you're watching LifeTalk. I'm Mark Crutcher.
And I'm Renee Hobbs. Thanks for joining us.
Renee, we've got a very powerful video we're going to release today. We've been telling people this was coming, and
it's here.
And here in a minute they'll be seeing it, and
right.
it's pretty. The few people that we've let look at it
right.
have been really blown away.
Right.
And we had a few more people this weekend. You weren't here, but
right.
That I let look at it, and they're all thinking this is a.
Yeah, I mean, it's short, sweet, and to the point.
That's what you have to do nowadays because people have short attention spans. They don't watch long pieces, and that's why this new project that we're working on with the answers thing,
right.
I think is going to be.
Oh, it's going to be really good.
I think it's going to be the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah.
And
it'll definitely be a good use tool for the pro-life community.
Absolutely, good tool for them.
Yep.
Anyway, we do have this video that we want you to watch, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the video, and we'll be having a very, very special guest. Watch this video.
Just a choice. It's 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 just a choice.
Well, Renee, that's pretty hard to watch.
It is. It's very harsh, and it's a look at what the true reality is of abortion.
Right.
I mean, there's no denial. A baby is being torn apart here, and
right. I want to bring in a very special guest of ours that's been on LifeTalk for many, many years. Hello, Father Frank Pavone. Hello, Father Frank.
Hello, Renee. Good to see you.
You too.
Nice to have you on the show. And actually, since we've got our new technology, other than we tested it with Troy, but you're actually our first guest.
Right.
Since we got our new technology for Facebook Live.
Very cool.
Oh, good, good. Delighted to be helping out like this.
Well, we wanted you to be the first one because we know you'd get your feelings hurt and you'd start whining.
Oh, yeah. I can see him doing all of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, Father Frank, we let you see this video Friday before we released it.
Right.
And first off, let me get your initial thoughts on the video itself and what we can do with it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on this project. You know, it echoes what many people have quoted me as saying: America will not reject abortion until America sees abortion. And this video does it in a very powerful way because, you know, we're in a short, as you said, a very short clip. We're looking at we're getting back to the basics. We've got to cut through the rhetoric, the slogans, the abstractions, the arguments, and we have to say, look, this movement is about something very simple. Violence is going on against these babies. Here is the baby we need to protect, we need to speak up for. And the video speaks to a mother's heart. You know, this is the child that's been entrusted to your womb, to your body, to your heart. This speaks to a man's heart. This baby, you need to be a protector. You need to speak up too. It speaks to the lawmaker. You know, this is the baby you need to protect. It speaks to all of us. This is not a slogan. This is not an abstraction. This is a real baby who's really being torn apart piece by piece by this violence of abortion. So just, you know, spreading it, using it, showing it, this gets back to the heart of the matter, and it really in a powerful way.
Well, and of course, you know, one of the criticisms that's been levied against pro-lifers in the past when we've shown real abortions is that, oh, they're too graphic and you shouldn't be showing that. And plus, I've even heard people say, and sometimes even pro-lifers say, but you participated in that abortion by showing it.
Right.
There is no baby that died in this rendition.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
very important thing, but it makes the point just as dramatically, I think.
Right.
Oh, just as dramatically. And the two of you know as well as I do. People who will say, even though they're on our side, and many who are not, they'll say, "Oh, well, yes, I don't need to see that. I know what it is. I don't need to see that." You know what? I'm going to say today, again, having seen this again just now, I need to see it. I need to see it every day.
Right.
We all need to see it because it's just too easy to forget about this baby, and it's just too easy to get overwhelmed by the weariness, the monotony, the distraction, just the tiredness that we could all be under. And watching something like this again gets us back to that original passion, that original fire that is lit in the heart of every pro-life person when they first awaken to this tragedy, this violence. And we do need to see it, and no matter what we know or think we know, and no matter how long we've been in the movement.
Yeah, and this is exactly the video, the Facebook Live that we did on Friday, is what do you think of the unborn, of the baby itself?
Right.
It's not what you believe, but what do you think? This is a real baby that is being slaughtered inside the womb of a mother, and we need to see it. It needs to be viewed. People need to, because we've become desensitized to the abortion battle itself, working in it day in and day out, and people need to understand that this is exactly what goes on in the
Right.
and the death mills. And
You're right. We do become desensitized. And we get so, and I think that's what Father Frank was alluding to, we get so wrapped up in the process of trying to fight this battle that we forget what the battle is about.
Right.
And we kind of start seeing it, I'm not saying we all see it as a game or a contest or something like that.
Oh, no, absolutely
But you can
not.
get kind of wrapped up in the process. Don't you see that problem, Father Frank?
Absolutely, because and this is why the pro-life movement is so diverse. People say, "Oh, there's so many groups, and sometimes they say that as if it's a negative. But no, the reason there's so many groups. It shows what we're saying here now, that this is a movement that arises from the bottom up, truly grassroots, because it's so basic. A baby's being killed, and so people are gonna, they don't have to wait for somebody from on high, whether in the church or in the state, to tell them, "Hey, go save that baby." There's a baby being killed. You're going to rise up on your own, out of your own humanity, and go do something about it. And so this is where a video like this is so helpful. And this video too, it shows dismemberment, and we know that through the, whether it's even the Supreme Court has addressed this in very vivid language, how these babies die from their bodies being torn apart and bleeding to death and so forth. This is Supreme Court testimony. This is in lower courts as well. Procedure has been addressed time and time again in a very explicit language, the testimony of abortionists, and now the timing of this is very good, even from a legislative angle. As you well know, both in the states and even on the federal level, bills are being introduced to protect babies from dismemberment abortions. And so this is going to dovetail very well with the public conversation that we need to have at this point in time, even in the halls of Congress, taking place at this point in the pro-life movement. So a great tool and a timely one.
One of the things that we need to make sure people understand, too, is very often we get accused of using video or renditions of late-term abortions, and they'll say, but yeah, almost no abortions take place at that point, which is a lie, but they get away with it because the media lets them get away with it. This we specifically told, and Renee is the one who made all the arrangements with the artist that did the sculpting. This was to be a first trimester baby. This was a first trimester baby that's depicted in this video. So we don't have to grapple with that particular argument.
Right.
And the man that you secured to do this is the same one that does the little plastic 10-week
right.
plastic ones.
The fetal models,
the fetal models that everybody gives out by the gazillions. And we had him do one out of clay so we could do this video.
Right.
And he actually made us 6 of them.
Yeah, he graciously made us 6. And
they worked out real well. And it was not an easy thing to shoot. It was it's trickier than it looks. It's one of these deals when it's finished, it looks, oh, anybody could do that. That's real simple. Well, go out and try it. It's not as simple as it looks.
Yeah. And clay soft and...
Yeah, we had some issues, but we got it done,
Right.
and he did a great job. And we asked him to make it a little more detailed than the ones for the little plastic models,
Right.
but it's the same guy, and he did a great job for
Yeah,
us.
and we thank him very much for that.
We thank him very
Yes,
much for that.
Absolutely.
Well, it takes courage, it takes commitment. All of that is pulled together in this video. You know, I think the use of the scream is very effective too. You know, many people will remember the silent scream. Those have been around for a while. And,
Right.
This video makes the scream not silent. And you know, it makes me think back to the days of, you know, as we read the scriptural accounts of the sacrifice of children. Abortion is child sacrifice, and these children were sacrificed to demons. But, you know, you see the artistic depictions of these Baal statues, the pagan god Baal, and you have the pictures of the pagan priests beating on their drums next to the statue where the baby's being killed. And it's so that the people would not hear the cries, the screams of the children. And then, of course, there's the well-known story about Sing a Little Louder with the train going off
Right.
to the concentration camps, and the pastor said, "Oh, don't worry about those screams. Just sing a little louder." And so, isn't that what's happening? Many forces in our society, starting with Planned Parenthood, they're trying to distract everybody. Oh, but we do good things, and we do this, and we do that. Oh, but there's other issues, and many factions even within the church. Oh, but there's immigration. Oh, and there's climate change. Oh, and there's this, and there's that. It's like all, you know, trying to drown out the screams of these children. People don't need to be convinced of anything. They just need to hear the screams, and it's built into our humanity to respond to that. And that's why, again, this gets to a very primal level. This goes beyond the arguments. This goes beyond the debates. This is where we have to win this battle. You touch people at their basic humanity, and then we'll mobilize enough people that we need to stop the killing.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the origins of this. One of the things that, and Renee and I have talked about this many, many times, you see these commercials on television for like the ASPCA, and they show these poor little dogs and cats.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Yes.
I don't care who you are, you cannot help but be devastated by those.
yeah.
I can't even watch them.
Right, no, broken heart for sure.
And we've got 2 cats that live here at Life Dynamics, and I bring 2 of my dogs here with me every day. We love dogs and cats. We love all animals. But what the problem is, the pro-life movement has never been able to tap into that.
Right.
And what I'm hoping is that, and I don't want to, pound our drum more than we should, but I'm hoping that this will kind of do that. It kind of make people see the baby as human in a way that they haven't done in the past.
Right.
And I had a note here myself. You mentioned Silent Scream. I'm hoping, because I remember when Silent Scream came out, and I remember when Eclipse of Reason from Dr. Nathanson came out, those things had enormous impact in the pro-life movement. And we really haven't had anything similar to that since then, and that's what we're trying to do with this. And
Right.
when Renee and I came up with this idea and decided to do this particular video, that was kind of what we thought about, was how do we replicate those ASPCA ads, and how do we make people connect with the baby in a way that they haven't connected with them before? Because that's what happens in those ads. You connect with those little dogs and cats,
Definitely.
And it's that disconnect. It's the disconnectedness that allows abortion to continue. We disconnect from our own humanity. If you disconnect from the humanity of the baby, you're disconnecting from your own humanity. You're becoming dehumanized. This is the problem with the abortionists, and it's also a problem with non-medical people who just go around talking themselves into being pro-choice. So this is, and Mark, you asked me also at the outset about, what people can do to spread this, and that's really got to be a key takeaway from this program here. People need to say, look, this is now a tool that's being placed in my hands. And, of course, social media provides so many sharing opportunities. I mean, it's all about sharing and connecting people with the conversation. And so sharing it on social media, obviously, the courage, if we can find some courageous pastors out there that would show this in various church settings, so many run away from even mentioning abortion, but for the courageous ones, this is another tool to show even in church settings, and then people have got to brainstorm about, so starting in-house, starting with our own pro-life people who are gathered for different events and conferences and seminars and whatnot, start using this in those settings, and so that these activists can put it through their own social media,
right.
And the one-on-one, hey, sit down with me and watch this thing. Discussions. I mean, people should have this on their smartphones, and you just log in, and of course you'll tell us exactly where online to find this. People are having it on their smartphones. A discussion about abortion starts before you go into a 2-hour debate about philosophy and theology and the Constitution. Say, hey, wait a second. Let's set the ground. Let's set the starting point here. Let me show you this on my phone. And you click that button and let them see this, and then and only then can the discussion.
That's right. And it's only a minute long, and you can tell them this is literally just 1 minute. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm asking you to watch something that's going to be 15 or 20 or 30 minutes long. This is a 1 minute video. And we, Renee and I, worked very hard, as did the other people here that were involved in it, in making sure that it was as short as we could possibly make it.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be on the front of Life Dynamics. So anybody
on YouTube here in a few minutes.
Yeah, YouTube, and then obviously Facebook.
Right. And It's Just a Choice. So when it's on Facebook, on YouTube, that will be the title that you'll look for. And I know that, Father Frank, you've already committed to help promote it, and you're going to be having it on your websites. And
absolutely. As a matter of fact, as we finish talking here, I'm going to do a Facebook Live on my channel, and we're going to start getting it out there.
Well, let's get it out there. I appreciate your help, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Father Frank.
And I look forward to hearing back from you on those other things we were discussing.
Okay, we'll work together as we have for many years.
Many years.
God bless you both.
I am honored to be in the battle with you.
Likewise. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, bye now.
Well, what do you think? We're off to the races.
We are off to the races, and he kind of stole my line about promoting, but he did a much better job than I could do. So just help us promote. That's all we ask.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways you can do that, and I think he's right. I think it is. He said some things that even we hadn't talked about having it on your cell phone where you can say, hey, before we have a talk about abortion, look at this.
Right. Let's get to the basic here. Right. Let's get to what this battle is all about, and it's the slaughter of the unborn.
Right. So. Let's do that. So anyway, we don't want to put more on this than there is. We don't want to be unrealistic about it. It's a little short 1 minute video. But you never know what's going to turn things around. In the past, and other social issues like in the battle over slavery, it was a book basically that kind of got the American people, Uncle Tom's Cabin, kind of got the American people really looking at the slavery issue a little bit differently. Even though most people probably never read the book, they heard about it and somebody else told them about it, and it started the conversation in a different direction, and it was a fictional account. So, maybe this will. We're not trying to brag and say, oh, we're fixing to revolutionize the pro-life movement. We're not, but I think it can have a major impact, and it has the feeling that we wanted. Right. And it does, I think, get closer to anything the pro-life movement's ever done, to that feeling that you get when you watch those ASPCA videos of those poor little dogs and cats that are being abused and neglected and so forth.
Yeah, very emotional. Right. It makes you want to cry.
It certainly does. But anyway, and I think Father Frank touched on something else. He said, I need to watch this every day, so I keep my head in the game, make sure I understand what this battle is really about. And that's what we're trying to do. Yep. And I think every once in a while we all need to be reminded of that.
We sure do.
Well, good show, Renee. And listen, we're asking you guys to please, again, like Renee said and like Father Frank said, help us promote this. Get this out there as far as wide as you can. I think there are people out there who are on the fence about the abortion issue, who really don't know what they think about it, maybe have never thought about it too much, that you can impact by getting to watch this video. Yeah. But even if you just show it to other pro-lifers so that they're reminded on a daily basis about what this battle is really about, it'll have tremendous value even there. So anyway, we're out of time. Until next time, remember, Life Dynamics is not here to put up a good fight. We're here to win, because winning is how the killing stops.